minute, I am going to explain what I consider to be the #1 cash flow killer when it comes to your rental property investments. But before I do that, I just want to remind you guys about our webinar that is coming up this Thursday. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. I want you to be there. It's going to be some great content. Of course, it's called Maximizing Cash Flow Through Strategic Tenant Relationships. So get signed up. It's at piginvestor.com. If you haven't gotten signed up yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go to piginvestor.com. But now, what I want to tell you, talk to you about is tonight's topic is the #1 cash flow killer. And that, in my opinion, is tenant turnover. Okay, there's a lot of different reasons why tenants turn over, right? There's a lot of different reasons why you might lose a tenant in your property. And that can be, they just hate you and want to move out, or maybe they get a job transfer, or they're getting divorced, or they're single and they're moving into a new property with, their girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. There's a lot of different reasons why people move out when you have tenant turnover. Maybe they don't pay and so you have to evict them, or whatever the case might be. But turnover is a cash flow killer. If you were watching the college football games this weekend, you probably know that, it was rivalry week and there were all these different games going on, and the games that were turned out badly for the losing team, it was usually because of turnovers. Turnovers can be brutal. The reason why is we all know, we've had that call and we know how awful it is and how much we hate it. It's like a gut punch when one of our great tenants calls us up. They've been there for years. They pay on time. They don't bother us. They're like the best tenant ever. And then they call up and they say, listen, I'm going to be moving out at the end of my lease. I'm going to move on. And it's like just a gut punch. You're like, no, Lord, why? They're great tenants. We want to keep them forever, but they've decided to move out. And that turnover, right? That tenant turnover has an expense to it. So even if they were letting you know about repairs that needed to be made and you were making those repairs and all that great stuff, you still are going to have to get it rent ready and clean it and do some things. And there's going to be some admin expenses. You're going to have to go through the hassle and the time of getting a new lease signed and the time that it takes to get somebody in there. And there's going to be some vacancy time. And so we all know that we're better off if there is no tenant turnover, right? If they just stay for a long, long time, that's what we want, right? And so tenant turnover is a killer. And so we all would love to have that tenant that's going to stay for 10 years, right? That's like the dream tenant that we hear about, the lady or the guy or the family that moves in and never moves out and stays for ages and ages, because then there is no tenant turnover expense. And now you might think that that's just happenstance, or it's just luck, or some people are more fortunate, and that's why they have tenants that stay longer. But the truth is, why there is an element certainly of luck, we can't always dictate what people are going to do in their lives. There are also some strategic, intentional things that we can do, the way we handle our relationship with our tenants, that can help make it more likely that they will stay longer and we will have less tenant turnover. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Part of what we're going to be talking about coming up on Thursday night's webinar. Again, you can get signed up right now at piginvestor.com. If you're watching this live, don't leave yet. But if you're watching the replay, just press pause, go to piginvestor.com, get signed up, because I'm going to be talking about how to limit or eliminate tenant turnover, as well as a bunch of other ways that we can take advantage of our relationships with our tenants in order to maximize cash flow. So again, thanks so much for joining us. If this is your first time with us, you want to get connected with us, go to pigfreegift.com, sign up for our newsletter. Otherwise, make sure you jump on that webinar coming up Thursday night at 7 p.m. Get registered at piginvestor.com. I can't wait to see you guys there.